English Language Arts Grade 7, Module 3A Overview. Understanding Perspectives, Slavery, The People Could Fly. Guiding questions. What gives stories and poems their enduring power? How did Douglas's purpose and audience shape how he told his story? When you write a story, how do your purpose and audience shape how you tell that story? How can you use language, images, and theme to give the story you write enduring power? The big ideas? Stories and poems have enduring power because they tell about important or interesting events, people, and places. They have themes that help readers understand the world and often empower people, and they use powerful language and powerful images. Douglas wrote the narrative to convince his audience that slavery should be abolished. He responded to the reasons that some people gave to justify slavery and showed why they were mistaken. Assessment, Mid-Unit 1, Using Evidence to Support Analysis, Frederick Douglass. Students will read a text about Douglass. They will answer questions surrounding analyzing the text and supporting conclusions with evidence from the text. End of Unit 1 assessment is reading poetry, analyzing structure and language in We Wear the Mask. Students will read We Wear the Mask and answer questions, structure, figurative language, sound, and form. In Mid-Unit 2 assessment, it's analyzing the storyteller's craft, comparing written and oral stories, and analyzing purpose and craft in Douglas's narrative. In Part 1, students will reread a poem from Unit 1, Harriet Tubman. Then they will watch the poem performed live and analyze how a storyteller uses her body and voice to convey meaning. In Part 2, the students will read a new excerpt from Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass and answer questions around meaning of specific words, Douglas's word choice and use of figurative language, and how this excerpt serves his overall purpose. End of Unit 2 assessment is an essay analyzing Douglas's position in the narrative. Students will write in response to the following prompt. In his narrative, Frederick Douglass explains that his purpose is to throw light on the American slave system. Which aspects of slavery does his narrative bring to light? And how does his position differ from that of those who defended slavery? How does he use his story to support his position? Mid-Unit 3 assessment is a writer's roundtable and sentence structure quiz. Part 1, in preparation to write the first draft of their story, students create a planning guide and bring that work and several questions to a focused small group discussion at which each author presents his or her work and gets feedback on key questions such as, how well does my storyboard capture the significant events of the story? I'm thinking of zooming in on these moments. Are they critical to the story? Which events should I illustrate? What might those illustrations convey? And is my thematic statement appropriate to the story? The students will then revise their work based on their peer commentary. And in Part 2, they will complete a quiz about conventions. And the end of Unit 3 assessment is a second draft of storyboards for the children's book. Students turn in the second draft of the children's book, which is written on storyboards. The first draft has already been revised during Lesson 8 and based on peer feedback and self-assessment. Then they will write the final drafts of their text on their illustrated pages, and this is also based on the teacher's feedback. Their performance task is writing and illustrating a children's book based on an episode from Douglas's life, selecting the episode from the excerpts of Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. The criteria includes demonstrating an in-depth understanding of the characters and themes in Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, their ability to create clear narrative writing that employs a variety of narrative tools and is appropriate to audience and task, a mastery of conventions, and the ability to thoughtfully consider feedback and meaningfully revise work. The protocols used in this module are the exit ticket, think, pair, share, discussion appointment, turn and talk, gallery walk, concentric circles, go, go, mo, praise, question, suggest. Ongoing assessments throughout this module include the slave trade text-dependent questions, Powerful story, note catcher, the abolition from freedom, Frederick Douglass's purpose, text and questions, excerpt text and questions, analysis note catchers, entry and exit tickets, the narrative arc, the complete sentence practice worksheet, personal reflection, a planner, quote sandwich, independent reading check-in, independent reading assessment, children's book scavenger hunt, a plan, and the children's book storyboards. Ongoing support for your students include anchor charts, additional time, sentence stems and frames and paragraphs, partially filled in notes, vocabulary supports, chunking of text, displaying and reviewing of learning targets, review for discussion norms, word walls, audio text, displaying directions, partially filled in charts, paraphrasing, pre-highlighting text that's being used for discussion, grouping students, graphic organizers, models of expected work, students' opportunity to reflect, specific and focused feedback. This is Grade 7, Module 3A. Thank you.